exactly 10:30. Do we have an American flag? Sweet. All right, we're good. Hey, I want to thank Indiana for a fantastic welcome night last night. That was excellent. And I appreciate y'all putting in that order for no rain during the event. That was good planning. Good planning. I ask Secretary Craig if we have any administrative announcements. All right.
Good morning. Area chairs, please submit your meal count for the banquet for your area to Doug Simpson, Conference Chair in the Operations Center, room 141, no later than 1500 today. So your banquet counts to Doug Simpson, 1500 today. Also, the blood drive will continue today until 2 p.m. They have 25 good donors so far, and encourage anybody else that would like to donate blood to get out there and check in at their booth. Thank you.
Does the host state have any administrative announcements that they'd like to make?
Yes, sir, Mr. President, we do. First of all, by a show of hands, did everyone enjoy themselves last night and get to experience the Indiana War Memorial inside? And just so you know, I was the one in charge of the rain. Got rid of it for everybody. All right, a few announcements. Military Park for tomorrow night will be ready to receive the areas for setup for their booths starting at 1400 tomorrow. If anyone needs to arrive earlier, please come to the ops cell and leave your information for the coordination. For tonight's event, the Junior Enlisted Leader Night, I was asked to pass on that the Junior Enlisted are selling $5 raffles for all the prizes tonight. There is no cover charge, as mentioned yesterday. Everyone is welcome, and all the funds do go to the We Care for America. Airport transportation for Wednesday. If you need transportation to the airport, I believe we're only tracking on one right now, but if you need it, please come to the Ops Center, room 141. For the Motor Speedway, if anybody's interested in wanting to go today, we will have a shuttle that will pick up under the canopy. We'll have two shuttles. One will leave at 1300, one will leave at 1500, and then it'll depart from the track at 1530 and 1700. If you are interested, please come to the Ops Center, sign up and let us know what time you would like to depart. And if you have already signed up, if you could just swing by there and give us an idea which time you would like to leave, whether it's 13 or 1500. The museum does close at 1700, and the cost is less than $10, and if you show your ID, there should be a bigger discount for that too. That's it, Mr. President. We have no more announcements for today.
Thanks, Chief. I'll now call on Secretary Craig to continue the roll call of states.
Okay, hope you're ready to have some fun out there. We will continue the roll call of the states. I encourage all the states to start lining up at the microphones. You will each have 60 seconds to give your presentation, and your 60 seconds will begin when I call your state name. So it's alphabetical. You know where you are in the alphabet, hopefully. And is everybody ready to go? Is there anybody at a microphone? All right, we're going to hit it. So the first state is Alabama. Are the mics on?
December 14, 1819, the great state of Alabama became the 22nd state and territory. Alabama introduced Mardi Gras into the Western world. No wonder Area 3 has the best hospitality room. Just to make sure, Alabama did introduce Mardi Gras, not Louisiana. Is Mr. Delano Kirby in attendance? If you would, please stand. Alabama has the only EANGUS president that has served in 2 centuries. That's Mr. Kirby. We're home to some great athletes: Bo Jackson, Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, Bart Starr, and Carl Lewis. Alabama has a authorized force strength of 13,771 Army and Air Guardsmen. We brought to the conference with us 10 PD airmen, which is a big crowd, and 21 members. Alabama workers built the first rocket to put humans on the moon. That's why they call us the rocket
5,
capital of the world.
4, 3, 2,
Alabama is in the house. Roll Tide.
1. Thank you. You got a few more seconds because the microphones didn't work there. All right, next state, Alaska.
Alaska, the 49th state. You know you're Alaskan when you know which leaves make good toilet paper. The municipality buys a Zamboni before a bus. The trunk of your car doubles as a deep freeze. You know the 4 seasons: almost winter, winter, still winter, and construction. When you have to put your sun visor down at 3 a.m., you have more miles on your snowblower than your car. The most effective mosquito repellent is a shotgun. You know the term breakup has more to do with weather than personal relationships. You know a honey bucket is really a bucket, but it's not really full of honey. If you don't know, don't ask. You leave your Christmas lights up year-round. And lastly, you take every chance to remind Texans they're right. Size does matter.
All right.
Alaska is present.
Thank you, Alaska. Arizona.
Good morning. Arizona hosted last year's conference, so we're proud to say that we were part of this madness. All right, so we have 9 members here that are representing the Grand Canyon State, which include our Outstanding Soldier and Airman of the Year winners. It's also the home state of our Executive Council Secretary, Command Sergeant Major retired Karen Craig. Also, we're proud to be one of the few states to have all 4 major professional sports. That includes the youngest major league team to win the pennant, the Arizona Diamondbacks. Arizona Army and Air National Guardsmen have a long list of history that includes the fearless Bushmasters in World War I. We're also proud to announce that this year, the 161st Air Refueling Wing was recognized for the best Air National Guard security forces in the country. Also, let's just say, Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, as kick-in, Arizona is in the house.
All right, thank you. Arkansas.
Madam Secretary, the Arkansas Enlisted Association is proud to have in attendance our Adjutant General, Major General Mark Berry, the first air tag in the history of the Arkansas National Guard, and his wife, Mrs. Teresa Berry. Our state senior enlisted leader, Command Sergeant Major Stephen Beasy, and his wife, Mrs. Leanna Beasy. Also joining us is former Command Master Sergeant of the Air National Guard, Chief Retired Richard Green, as well as Area 4 Director and EANGUS Resolutions Chairman, Sergeant First Class Jeff Frisbee, and Area 4 Auxiliary Director, Mrs. Monica Williams. We are pleased to have 9 delegates, 4 soldiers and airmen on professional development orders, 4 auxiliary members, and 6 first-time members, all here in attendance to represent the great state of Arkansas. Our association currently has 2,174 annual members and 41 associate members. With that said, let's show some Arkansas pride. Woo! Pig suey! Woo! Pig suey! Woo! Pig suey! Raise your best! Thank you, Madam Secretary. Arkansas is definitely in the house.
Thank you.
Can we get a woo pig?
All right, California.
Madam Secretary, members of EANGUS, land of fine wine, sea, and snow, home of the hottest place on earth, the drought, high taxes, a DMV test that is in 32 languages, Hollywood, Disneyland, prestigious universities and colleges, prone to earthquakes, fires, floods, West Coast airspace flights, high sea search and rescues. The Guard has met the challenge. Home of professional teams like the Padres, the Angels, the Dodgers, the Clippers, the Lakers, the Raiders, the Niners, the Kings, the world champion San Francisco Giants, and the Golden State Warriors. California has 6 people attending the conference and 4 in professional development. Thank you, Madam Secretary.
Thank you, California. Colorado.
Madam Secretary, Colorado is here with 5 delegates, 1 proxy, the president of our association, and 2 PDs. We're the home of the Broncos and Peyton Manning. But the colorful Centennial State of Colorado is in the house, Madam.
Thank you. Connecticut.
Connecticut, Madam Secretary, we have 9 here to include State Sergeant Major, Command Sergeant Major John Carragher and 3 PDs. We have Joey Logano, born in Middletown, Connecticut, just won the Daytona 500. UConn women's basketball, everybody knows we dominate every year. We just won our 10th title. Nick Fradiani, 2015 American Idol winner, and the Voice winner, Sawyer Fredericks, who's the nephew of Command Sergeant Major Fredericks. We house ESPN, we have Sikorsky, Electric Boat, and UTC, which is the Aerospace and Defense Products. We are also known as the insurance capital of the world, submarine capital of the world. We have the world's largest casino, and we're also known as the wealthiest state. We house Lego, Pez, and Viagra. They should get together. That'd be one heck of a Pez dispenser. Birthplace of the hamburger in New Haven, Connecticut. We also have the longest running amusement park. We are the Constitution State, and we are in the House.
4,
Thank you, Madam Secretary.
3. All right. Thank you, Delaware, Connecticut. All right, next state, Delaware.
Delaware, we come to you with 11 attendees to include our senior advisor, Command Sergeant Major Bob Miller, our new Command Chief, Master Sergeant Patricia Ottinger, and 2 PDs. Delaware is the home of the Vice President, Joe Biden, his son, Beau Biden, who passed away recently, whom was our former Attorney General and Governor-elect, and also a member of the Delaware National Guard. We are home of the Pumpkin Chunkin Contest, the Monster Mile, Firefly, NASCAR, Dover Air Force Base, World Series girls softball team, famous sports figure Della Don, and also Delaware this month is celebrating the 360th years of its existence. Madam Secretary, Delaware is in the House.
Thank you. Got to wait for the clock to reset here. All right, we're ready to go. District of Columbia.
Madam Secretary, we hail from the most powerful city in the free world. At only 68.3 square miles, we are also home to all 3 branches of federal government. Transit community, every elected official in our states, in every state, foreign emissaries, lobbyists, petitioners, and protesters. Home to over 170 embassies. The Washington Redskins, Washington Wizards, Capitals, and DC United. The Capitol Guardians are in the house.
All right, thank you. Florida. Florida? Okay.
On March 3rd, 1845. In 2014, Florida is the populous state in the U.S. However, we're not sure about that number. It might be incorrect because the Panhandle is considered the Lower Alabama, aka Redneck Riviera. We have more golf courses in Florida than any other state in the U.S., and no matter where you are in Florida, you can never go more than 60 miles from the ocean. We have 11 national college football championships, and the Gators still enjoy a bulldog for a midday
5,
snack.
4, 3.
The only
2,
place where Mickey, Minnie, and
1.
Goofy can get wasted
right.
away in
Thank you, Florida.
Margaritaville.
Thank you.
Madam Secretary, Florida's in the House.
All right, let's make sure you're ready. Georgia.
Well, Madam Secretary, Georgia has 16 in attendance with 3 in PD status. We also have in attendance our Senior Enlisted Advisor, Command Sergeant Major Philip Stringfield, and our former Senior Enlisted Advisor, Command Sergeant Major Retired James Nelson. Georgia, the Empire State of the South. Georgia, the state where falcons rise up and braves tomahawk chop. Georgia, the state where saying "who dat" will get you 20 years to life. Georgia, the state where eating chicken with a fork will literally get you arrested, is in the house.
Thank you, Georgia. Guam.
Today, Madam Secretary, Guam in the House, 3 representatives, 1 delegate, 2 PDs. Guam, beautiful beaches, tropical island, great food. We'll hopefully try some tomorrow. We were liberated in 1921, July 21st, 1944. Home of the Chamorros, Guam in the House, Madam Secretary.
Thank you, Guam. Hawaii.
Madam Secretary, on behalf of the 5,700 soldiers and airmen of the Hawaii National Guard, I'd like to share a little bit about the 50th state, Hawaii, home to some of the world's most beautiful beaches. The following are just a few people that call Hawaii home. President Barack Obama, singer-songwriter Jack Johnson and Bruno Mars, and Marcus Mariota. Our fellow guardsmen also living in Hawaii, the Honorable Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard, and Congressman Mark Takai. And a quick shout out to our 2015 National Guard Best Warrior Competition winner, Specialist Cruiser Barnes. I'm not sure if you're in here. And then a few quick facts about our islands. Hawaii is the most isolated population on the face of the earth, 2,390 miles from California, 3,850 miles from Japan, 4,900 miles from China, and 5,280 miles from the Philippines. And lastly, I'd just like to thank Indiana for hosting this event. Truly a great experience.
That's an aloha to Hawaii. Thank you. Okay, Idaho.
Madam Secretary, Idaho is represented this year by 2 individuals. Boise is the capital. Nearly 85% of commercial trout sold in the U.S. is produced in the Hagerman Valley area. Arco is the first city in the country, or in the world, to be powered by nuclear. Shoshone Falls, near Twin Falls, is 212 feet and drops 52 feet further than Niagara Falls. The Fosbury Flop was invented in Ketchum, Idaho by Dick Fosbury. The Gem State produces 72 gems. It's known as the Gem State, not just the Potato State. Our state fruit is the huckleberry. Our state horse is an Appaloosa. Twin Falls is also known as the site where Evel Knievel attempted to jump the Snake River. And the deepest river gorge in North America is in Idaho Falls and is Hell's Canyon at 7,900 feet deep. Idaho is in the house.
All right, good. Thank you. Illinois.
Madam Secretary, Illinois has 3 delegates, 1 proxy, and 2 professional development attendees present this week. Illinois, land of Lincoln, whose motto is state sovereignty and national union. In the past year, we elected Governor Ronner, and for the first time in 16 years, our former governor did not end up in jail. We reinstated happy hour that was banned in 1989. This will mark the first time in Illinois history that I will be able to legally buy 2-for-1 drinks. Also in 1989, Back to the Future 2 predicted on a hologram billboard that the Chicago Cubs would win the World Series on October 21st, 2015 at 100-to-1 odds. So I believe on October 21st, I will have 2-for-1 drinks at the Northside Bar to celebrate the Cubs World Series with the comfort of knowing that if things get out of hand, there will be a vacancy at the jailhouse unless former Governor Pat Quinn beats me to it. Illinois is in the house.
Thank you. Iowa.
Madam Secretary, we are not the home to any professional NFL team, any NBA team. We are the home to the newest NASCAR track, the Iowa Speedway, professional golfer Zach Johnson, the ice cream capital of the world, Blue Bunny. We are the home of the famed Butter Cow at the State Fair. We're the breathtaking bridges of Madison County. We are the proud host each year to the National Hobo Convention. We are the only state whose east and west borders are 100% water with the Missouri and Mississippi. We are the birthplace of Buffalo Bill, President Herbert Hoover, the Duke, John Wayne, Super Bowl MVP, Kurt Warner, the very sexy Donna Reed, and heartthrob Ashton Kutcher. We have the greatest tag and senior enlisted team there is, Major General Tim Orr and Command Sergeant Major Rachel Fales, who are both in attendance this week. We have 17 members and auxiliary in attendance. Is this heaven? No, this is Iowa.
All right, thank you. Kansas.
Madam Secretary, Kansas was the 34th state out of 50. The name Kansas originated from the Sioux word meaning people of the south wind. Kansas is known for famous people like Wyatt Earp, Wild Bill Hickok, Amelia Earhart, and Dwight D. Eisenhower. Kansas is in the house.
Thank you. Kentucky.
Madam Secretary, we're here with 2 delegates and 4 members, 4 PDs, and 3 auxiliary members. Kentucky is known as the Bluegrass State. We're home of the best with thoroughbred horses. We have the best bourbon. We have the best college basketball teams. We're known for the greatest boxer of all time, Muhammad Ali, the greatest president of all time in Abraham Lincoln. We're the home of the Corvette and also the home of the largest cave system in the world. Madam Secretary, Kentucky is in the house.
Thank you. Maine.
Madam Secretary, Maine, the home of the Pine Tree State, has 2 delegates present. Maine is in the house.
Thank you, Maine. Maryland.
Madam Secretary, Maryland, the old line state. We're in attendance with 10 members, 3 auxiliary, and 2 PD. Maryland, just like Frank's hot sauce, Old Bay, we put that stuff on everything. Even though we're the home to the second leg of the Triple Crown of Pimlico, our state sport is jousting. Recently, we are named with America's scariest bridge, the Bay Bridge, and based on recent event, our new state slogan, just like Kingsford charcoal, throw a brick, start a fire.
All right, thank you. Massachusetts.
Hi, hello, Massachusetts. Sergeant Major Kittredge here as past president. Massachusetts is home of a few pretty good sporting teams, not to mention the Boston Red Sox, the Celtics, New England Patriots, and the Boston Bruins. But more importantly than that, we're the birthplace of the National Guard and the location of the shot heard around the world. We are first to fight. We are here with 3 delegates, 3 professional developments, and 3 auxiliary. Massachusetts is in the house.
Thank you. Michigan.
Good morning. Madam Secretary, boasting the largest Air Guard base and the largest Army Guard training facility in the country, we are a roving death machine feared by all bad guys. We are also the home of Dr. Jack Kevorkian and his infamous death machine, feared by all senior citizens. A state so great that we are the home of the only president of the United States to be allowed to bypass that whole election thingy. Home of the first car in the world, the best cars in the world, and the worst roads in the world. Speaking of roads, special thanks to the state of Indiana for hosting this conference, allowing us to bypass Ohio. The only state in the Union with a southbound bridge to get to our neighbors to the north and a bridge to access the other half of our own state. The state where a cop who's directing traffic also provides a convenient map of our state. Madam Secretary, pure Michigan is in the house.
Thank you. Minnesota.
Mr. President, Madam Secretary, Minnesota, land of 10,000 lakes and 1,000 other mine pits which later became lakes. This leads to our state bird, mosquitoes. Home of Paul Bunyan and a big blue ox, and everybody's favorite lunch meat, Spam. We even have a museum for it. The state's favorite winter sport, drilling a hole through 3 feet of ice in 30 below weather just to catch a smelly fish. I really can't make this up. With 13 members, Madam Secretary, Minnesota is in the house.
Thank you. Mississippi.
Madam Secretary, home of Elvis, Brett Favre, and Morgan Freeman, home of the Mississippi State Bulldogs, Ole Miss Rebels, and the University of Southern Mississippi Golden Eagles, home of Camp Shelby and the Meridian National Guard Air Base, to name a few. With some of the best hunting and fishing in the nation, Mississippi is here with 46 delegates. We are in the house.
Thank you, Mississippi. Missouri.
Good morning. The state of Missouri is 11,000 guardsmen strong. Missouri is also a state rich in history. As a gateway to the west, the Santa Fe, Oregon Trail, and the Pony Express all originated in the state of Missouri. Missouri is also the birthplace of the 33rd President of the United States, Harry S. Truman, who was also a Missouri Guardsman. Known for its strength, hardiness, intelligence, and even temper, and healthy stubbornness, the Missouri Mule was chosen as the official state animal and has become to symbolize Missouri and its residents, who on occasion can be found to be stubborn as a mule. Missouri stands proud of General Frank J. Grass, who rose through the ranks of the Missouri National Guard and now sits as the Chief, National Guard Bureau, serving on the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Missouri is also home to the 131st Bomb Wing, the only Air National Guard wing with a nuclear mission, maintaining and flying the B-2 stealth bomber.
Time's up.
Missouri is present.
All right, Montana.
Madam Secretary, Montana is in the House. Montana is the 4th largest state in the U.S. by area. You can fit Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, Pennsylvania, and New York within its borders and still have room for the District of Columbia. Despite its large size, Montana is only the 44th most populated state in the nation. Montana's name comes from the Spanish word mountain. The official animal is the grizzly bear. Montana has the largest grizzly bear population in the lower 48. Montana also has the largest migratory elk herd in the nation. Sorry, Mississippi. Average square mile land contains 1.4 elk, 1.4 pronghorn antelope, and 3.3 deer. Once again, sorry, Mississippi. Density in the state is 6 people per square mile. Montana is home of 70 Indian reservations with 8 different federally recognized Native American tribes living in Montana. In Montana, the elk, deer, and antelope population outnumber the humans. There is a theme here. The first loon run in North America was built at Lolo Hot Springs in 1965. Glacier National Park has 250 lakes within its
Thank you,
borders.
Montana.
Montana's in the House.
Madam Secretary.
Nebraska.
Madam Secretary. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. Madam Secretary, we are home to the Derek Wisenhunt of the Nebraska Army National Guard, retired. Nebraska's in the House.
Thank you. Nevada.
Madam Secretary, Nevada brings 5 attendees and 1 PD. Nicknamed the Silver State, Nevada is a western state defined by its great expanses of desert and the 24-hour casinos and various other forms of adult entertainment for which the largest city, Las Vegas, is famed. Las Vegas and Reno, the biggest little city in the world, both host elaborate themed hotels such as Caesar's Palace, Silver Legacy, and a luxury resort like Bellagio. Nevada is home to museums such as the infamous Mob Museum, upscale shopping malls, diverse restaurants, numerous other houses of repute, and very extravagant glitzy shows. On behalf of Adjutant General William Burke, State Command Sergeant Major Jared Kopacki, Air Command Chief Master Sergeant Drillsdale, and the 3,200 Army and 1,000 Air Guard men and women, Nevada is in the House. Battleborn!
Thank you, Nevada. New Hampshire.
Madam Secretary, New Hampshire, the 9th state to ratify our Constitution and thus assure our nation, live by one simple phrase: live free or die, for death is not the worst of evils.
All right, thank you, New Hampshire. New Jersey.
Madam Secretary, New Jersey's in the House, 1 delegate, 1 PD. We're the 3rd state in the Union. We're the 4th smallest state, but the 2nd wealthiest state per median household income. 2 of the best players in Major League Baseball, Todd Frazier of the Reds and Mike Trout of the Angels. Also Mike Adams, safety for the Indianapolis Colts. Also performers Frank Sinatra, John Bon Jovi, Bruce Willis, Bruce Springsteen. Of course, there's only one Bruce. Queen Latifah. And also, of course, we're also crossroads of revolution. Without the battles of Trenton and Princeton, there would be no United States of America. New Jersey is in the house. Thank you.
Thank you. New Mexico.
Madam Secretary, I recognize that confused look, but I can assure you I am standing up.
Okay.
New Mexico, the land of enchantment, home of the nation's oldest National Guard. We come with 9 in attendance. New Mexico is in the house.
Thank you. New York.
Madam Secretary, New York is in the house, home of New York City with a population of 8.5 million people. It would be the 11th largest state if it was a state. The Adirondack Park consisted of 6.1 million acres. We have over 10,000 soldiers and 5,500 airmen. We are home of the Jets, Giants, Bills, Rangers, Yankees, Mets, Islanders, and Knicks. After this winter, we've determined that we have 2 seasons, winter and not winter. Madam Secretary, New York is in the house. I love New York. Woo! Hey!
NGB Title 10.
Madam Secretary, the NGB T10 chapter is truly unique. While our membership is currently small, it can, and hopefully will soon, include members from all the states and territories. Woo woo! NGB T10 is in the house.
Thank you. North Carolina.
Madam Secretary, North Carolina's in the house, 2 delegates, home of the NCAA basketball champs, Duke Blue Devils. North Carolina's in the house.
Thank you. North Dakota.
Madam Secretary, we have no professional sports teams, but we do have our NDSU Bison, who are 4-time NCAA Division I champs. While we are the least visited state, we consume the most alcohol, making us the happiest. Representing the Chucks and Mandys of North Dakota, we have 3 delegates and 8 attendees. Madam Secretary, North Dakota is in the house.
Thank you. Ohio.
Madam Secretary, Ohio is 17 strong. We are the 17th state. We are the Buckeye State. The only state flag is a pennant, and the best theme park in the world. We're also home of 7 U.S. presidents, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Pro Football Hall of Fame, world's largest basket, Wright brothers, John Glenn, Neil Armstrong, Steven Spielberg, Paul Newman, the first pro baseball team and the first NFL game, the Ohio State University, the best damn band in the land, 2014 and 2015 national champions, OH.
Thank you. Oklahoma.
Oh my God. Mr. President, Madam Secretary, it was a bad year for Oklahoma sports because we did not have Alabama to practice against. So we have 6 authorized, 6 present, to include our state command chief, Dave Teague.